Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How are we doing? I'm doing fantastic, as usual. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming on, hanging out. We're not really going to watch anything today. This is just me answering questions. I put out a couple weeks ago, hey, ask me some questions if you want to know some things. I'm game to answer whatever. And there was a little fear if anybody was going to ask anything, because that would have been awkward if nobody asked anything. But luckily, many of you have, so awesome. I feel good. So, thank you. Thank you to all of you. Even the ones that didn't ask questions, I totally am blessed, and I'm so excited and happy that you are all in my life hanging out with me. This has been a really fun journey. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the questions. I am going to mention your screen name or any other name that you put in the question. I tend not to divulge names if I've gotten several things sent to me, and I'll always ask first if I can mention you by name in a video, and it's generally just the first name. And some of you said no, which is totally cool. I'm totally cool with that and respect it. So hopefully I've never mentioned the name without asking you first, but there you have that. So first question is from 21148, screen name, but he does sign it Robert. So Robert is asking me, and now this is where I need my glasses, and I apologize for the glare. I can watch things without them, but to be able to read, it's something I need, so I apologize. Maybe one of these days I'll figure out the lighting in this space that I have. I don't have like a studio or anything like that. I'm sure you already noticed that. I've got cats sitting behind me. I've the whole bit. So, yay. All right, so Robert asks, well, unless you've covered it before, perhaps with some natural discretion, I've never had an issue with discretion. I just basically have none. With some natural discretion, give us an idea of your background and what you do and how you engage with life and personal circumstances. Just, stuff. Well, you all know my name. I'm a father of two, married to the love of my life for 15 years. We've been together for, since 1996, right after the oldest son was born. He's 26. We have another boy. He's 14. I'm the youngest of four in my family, and let's see. I work in the field of IT. Now, let me preface that, because when I say that, and I always kind of, like, oh boy. I do work in IT, but I don't really know a whole lot about computer software and how things work, because if I did, I would have way better video quality. You wouldn't hear the heater come on all the time. You wouldn't see what you see in the background. My editing would be better. I'm just awful at that sort of thing. I work kind of at the other end of the whole IT spectrum. I kind of manually fix computers. I also do wiring for, infrastructure of a network. So a little more of the physical side of it. And I've been doing that for, long time. And it might be time for a change. I'm kind of at the point where I might want to do something else. I have a lot of friends who are in real estate, and that whole industry at all, both ends of it. So some have asked me to maybe come over there, but I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me, but right now it's hanging out with you and working and, spending time with family and friends. And I do love a good glass of wine. I sometimes love it too much, along with my vodka sodas. I do like to have cocktails. I don't generally drink during the week. I kind of make a point of not doing that, but I do on occasions, on the weekends or special events or whatever, will indulge. I am 5'6", so yeah, not tall, but I'm not short either. I always used to say without short people, there'd be no tall people. And I still live by that today. But it is what it is. This is what the good Lord gave me, and, I've made it work. I was able to con and convince one woman, so that's awesome. So yeah, that's a quick little synopsis of me. I'm a huge sports fan, which I'm sure if you were a long member of this channel, which I'll get into with other questions, you know that already. So, and then he finally asked if I got that giant TV on the wall. And so, let's see how this is going to work, shall we? I'm going to take this off. Let's see if I can even get this to work without, I don't know if you can, oh, you can't see it. I don't have enough. Oh, wait, here we go. There it is. There it is. It's on the wall. Yeah, it basically went on the wall the day after Christmas. So that was cool. And that was a surprise too. Oh my gosh. I was so happy to get that TV. It's like a third child for me. So awesome. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate the question. Next up is Paul 222. Hi, Mark. Well, before I start, Paul 222. The number 222 has a special meaning to me. So every time I see it, Paul, I'm reminiscing about my father, who passed away in 2017. And he was a race car driver before I was born, in the late 50s, early 60s. And open wheel, not like NASCAR. He was actually not a fan of stock car racing. He was into the open wheel, Formula One, that sort of thing, 24-hour endurance races, that business. So he used to do that sort of racing. And after my oldest sister was born, he got into a big wreck. And my mom essentially said, no more. So he then went on to the family business, but the itch never left him. And so he got into early 80s, I believe, into what's called vintage racing. So they would get these vintage racing cars and get them out in these races, and they would, be hundreds and hundreds of these cars there with different types of, categories that they can all race. It's supposed to be like a big show, but these guys are still competitive even in their older age. But these cars, some of them could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they're like, you gotta pump the brakes, literally and figuratively. So that's what he did basically my whole childhood. We'd go to these races where he would be racing in these cars. Well, one of his car had the number 222. It was a 1955 Porsche Spyder. And he used to race that. It's like the one that James Dean owned when he crashed. It's similar to that one. So he would race that car. He had like 3 others too that he'd race. and but the number 222 was very special meaning in my family. So I enjoy that. Thank you, Paul. So long-winded to get to Paul's question. What is your ancestry? Is it from the UK? And if so, know anything about which area of the British Isles? Okay, I don't know anything yet. I have sent in the DNA kit and I've checked on it. They have received it, so they're doing what they do. So I hopefully in a couple weeks I should get some sort of answer. It'll be interesting to see when this DNA kit comes back. So thank you, Paul. Appreciate the question. Okay, next one, Swifty Blue Red Blue. That's the name. I love it. I love it. Have you ever done a UK themed box with foods, etc. from here or there, I should say? I have not. I have not tried anything other than something that's probably been totally stolen and used over here. But as for like an authentic British meal, I have not. British snacks, I have not. Where I live, there's not really anything like that. We do have a place that we like to go to eat and have some cocktails called the Victoria Pub, which is an English themed. I say themed, I don't know. I think when it was first started, it wanted to be more traditional, like an English pub. It was, I believe, originally owned by an Englishman that was over here. It's since been sold to someone that I know who is born and bred here in the States. So it probably looks nothing like an actual English pub, I assume, but it's, good food. And they do have some English fare, of course, the fish and chips, of course. But I've never ordered them. I'm not a huge fish eater, oddly enough. I'm more of a land roving animal eater. So they may have like bangers and mash, but here's the thing in the States, fish and chips, bangers and mash, those are like, oh, that's English food. And yeah, I guess, but I'm sure most of the time it's just with our little twist on it. So, but I have seen the certain dishes. I've just never tried them, nor have I had any snacks. Now there's a town a couple miles away, Thousand Oaks is what it's called. I believe there's a shop there who is run by an expat from Britain, and I believe she sells, her shop is all British themed stuff. So I believe she sells snacks and stuff like that. So I'd like to get over there one day and kind of cruise in there and maybe do a video, maybe interview her, see if, why she came here, how'd she get to the point where she's at. It'd be kind of interesting. But thank you, Swifty. I appreciate the question. Our next question comes from Margaret Nicole. Did you realize how different the language was within the UK? And then she has in parentheses dialects. No, I had no idea. I knew there were certain variations of the language, but I had no idea it was that many. And as I've learned, and as what you've all taught me, you could literally go to the other side of the street and it'd be completely different. It's similar to a degree here in the States. You have the Southern, you have the Midwest, East, Northeast, Northwest, Western, and Southwest. there's definitely different areas, and I assume, like, even in like Louisiana, they have a Cajun French influence, so there'll be little small pockets. But as it's pretty narrowed down to those regions, and people will, but it's not like I could go to Britain right now, to the UK right now, and I will get lost if I were to hear some of these dialects that I've heard in videos. I catch like every fourth word, which I can still kind of follow along on the video. I love it. But yeah, to have like a conversation could be tough. And I haven't really experienced that here in the States. I've been basically to all areas of this country and have not had any trouble, understanding people. I don't think that's the case. Of course, I look at the Welsh language and I'm just like, no way would I ever. That looks so difficult to learn. But would it keep me from wanting to go there? No. I would love to go to Wales. I would love to visit everywhere. But yeah, that was a big surprise for me, because I did not realize how many. I mean, we're talking a lot. For the size of the UK, the amount of different dialects, incredible. Just incredible. So, thank you, Margaret. All right, this is a two-part question from Margaret. Has looking at the UK changed your mind about anything? Yes. I mean, I just assumed most people in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland, y'all just hate us. You think we're, we have this reputation that's out there. I found that is not true. I mean, yes, take our governments out of it, but as people, we're a lot alike, and there's a genuine love for one another, like we are family. I think that's what it is. I feel like you are part of my family, and you are, in a sense. You're part of this community's family. I mean, I have always felt like I've gained so many new friends that when I do visit, that I'm going to run into one of you, and we can just sit and talk, and it'll be like awesome. So yeah, that has definitely changed my mind. I mean, of course you just go, yeah, we have this reputation being an American, and they probably are going to, give me a lot of crap and all this stuff. But no, that hasn't been the case. It's genuinely been nothing but love, and it's been amazing. It really has. I say it over and over, but you guys have definitely changed my life, allowing me to see things that I've normally never seen or nor would have seen. And I feel like I've gained so many more friends, and it's just been truly special. So thank you, Margaret. Appreciate that. Next one comes from David Green. Hi, David. Could you do a video on an American's view on the appeal of the British royal family? That's a good idea. And I hadn't thought of doing something like that, but so this is a good idea. Thank you, David, for that idea. It would be interesting. And I'm thinking like man on the street type of thing. I'm just going to go downtown Ventura. It gets pretty busy down there. I will be doing some videos on Ventura. So I can be down there, and I can generally ask people who I don't know what their opinions are. I know there's a lot of strong opinions right now, even in your place of living. So yeah, that'd be interesting, and it definitely would be something I'd like to do. So look for it. Thanks, David. The next question is from Dave Brown. What has surprised you most about the UK? This is a good question because I was generally surprised. I don't know if that's the word I'd use, but pleasantly surprised. I guess I would say that. I guess I was happy to see this. If you haven't already noticed based on my videos, I'm an emotional person. I'm not yelling in my videos. I'm not cussing. At least I try not to. I try to be respectful, so I'm not going to get the attention like some other reactors would. I generally I don't want to pause during my videos because we're watching these together. I don't even like to consider myself a reactor because it's just we're watching stuff together and then we can talk about it and you can help me learn. The core of this channel is to learn for me and maybe something that you haven't seen and you can learn from too. That is really the crux of this channel and why it's here. But it is turned into so much more. And when I first starting to learn about your places of where you live, your country, okay, I was really initially, I hate to say surprised because that means that I wasn't thinking that to begin with, or, but how prideful you are. I love it. I love the pride, how proud you are of your country, how proud you are of your military, and that the sheer generosity that you all show and love and care for one another is it's a happy surprise. It's made me happy to see this. Now, of course, y'all like to, hopefully I'm using this right, y'all like to take the piss out of each other, which also love, but as a whole, it's amazing how there's a lot of love in your country, and I just find that just truly remarkable. And not so much that I didn't think there would be, but just that it makes me really, really happy that I've experienced it myself, and it's just been wonderful. So yeah, definitely, that was a very happy surprise, I guess I can say, when I started doing this. So thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Next question comes from Robert Daniel, and along with Robert, there was Scotch Hit, Scotch Mist, and like 5 others who asked basically the same question. 5 others who emailed me who asked to remain anonymous, so I respect that. What made you start this journey about Britain? And it's basically, yes, that is why I'm here. When the COVID pandemic started, since everybody was working from home, sports were kind of shut down. I was watching a lot of replays of stuff, and there was a rugby match on, and I'm like, gosh, it looks like a fun game. I just don't understand it, so I couldn't really get into it. Never really cared to get into it. But then I'm like, well, I've got YouTube here. Let's start a channel and see if we can learn the game of rugby. And so I did. I put out there, I said, look, I am new. I just want to learn the game. I want to get into watching it and understanding how to play it and all this stuff. What can you do? What videos should I watch? That sort of thing. And the response was overwhelming. And while I don't think, maybe, who knows? I know there's a few that have stuck around in the transformation of my channel from rugby to Britain as a whole. But I would imagine most of them are not really watching much of what I'm doing these days, but who knows? I hope they are. But yeah, so about a year's worth of just YouTube instructional videos, highlights, actual live matches, did some live streams watching games, and had so much positive responses and people just willing to help. And I was talking to people from Australia, from South Africa, France. There was even some from Chile, Argentina. I had some. These are all big rugby nations. New Zealand, of course. There may have been some Italians. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to people from all over the world in the chats, and I didn't have an email, I didn't have a post office box or nothing like that. It was just, hey, how can we do this? And it was such a great response and allowed me to learn the game. So after a year, I basically know how to watch rugby now. I can watch a game, I can get into it. They started a professional league here in Los Angeles, here in the States. I followed that. And so, yeah, that was awesome. And it totally worked. And I just was like, this is great. My work schedule then changed, so I couldn't get on and do YouTube videos really much at that point. So it kind of slacked off, and I hadn't done anything for a while. Well, then my wife and I were talking, and we're like, I want to visit Europe. And she's like, I do too. So we started thinking, okay, well, where should we go? And at that moment, I went, well, this is kind of like how I wanted to learn how to rugby. I know there's people out there that are awesome, that's you guys, that would be more than willing to share their thoughts on where we could go and best places to visit, so on and so forth. So like one of the first ones I did was, top 10 places in England or top 10 UK visits, that sort of thing. And it's just kind of grown from there. From there, people suggested that I watch Al Murray. And from there, I watched Mickey Flanagan. And from there, it was then off of comedy. Well, no, then it went to the two Ronnies and so on and so forth, Dave Allen. And then from comedy, it went into more of geographical type stuff. And then it just has morphed into this wonderful hodgepodge of just military history, learning about the Festival of Remembrance, learning about Trafalgar Square and Lord Nelson and the Queen and the Queen. I feel so bad that I just feel like I missed her. She was there for so long and I never paid attention. And I regret that. I do. I wish I had started this channel years ago, and that way I could have experienced her more. And so that's one of my true regrets. But yeah, and then just learning about Wales and Scotland, and then the military bands, and the response from all of you has just been absolutely incredible. I mean, I can't explain what it's like to have so many people who, honestly, at least this is how I feel. I could be totally wrong, but who care about what you think, who care that, hey, this is us, and this is what we're proud of, and this is, our traditions, and you guys are so, I guess that's another thing that I was so surprised about, the traditions. There's a lot of them, a lot of traditions. We have them here, of course, but yeah, but it's just been so overwhelming, the love that I've gotten from all of you, that it's just has made this one of the best things I've ever decided to do, was just continue on from where should we go to, hey, let me learn about you. Let me actually take the time to try to understand what it's like to live where you live, and to be, amongst all of the traditions and the beauty and the wonder and all the things that make up, the UK. But there has been so much to learn and just so much to enjoy that it is, here we are. I think I started this transition in the beginning of September of last year. So here we are in January, and it's just been, my life has just been blessed. It's just been incredible. I've cried with you. I've laughed with you. I've been utterly surprised and just happy. And I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, but and it's just been remarkable. It really has. I mean, the emotions, and I'm an emotional guy, as you know. I cry on camera at a drop of a hat. And I'm not embarrassed by that. I'm not ashamed of doing that. I don't care what other people think about that. I am who I am, and the responses have just been truly, truly amazing. So, yeah, that's how I got to where I'm at now, and it's been more than just, hey, where should we go, to, oh my God, I hope if I go that I run into one of you, because I want to talk to you and give you a big hug, because you guys have truly changed my life. So that's about that. So thank you, Robert and Scotch Hit and all the others that asked that question, because that is the main question right there, is why, what made me start. And I'm so happy. It started with learning to rugby, because that gave me the tools to, like, hey, this can transfer over into this. So yeah, it's been just an incredible journey. It really has. So thank you. The next one's from my buddy Moon Ramshaw, 1982. This is funny. Did it make you mad that you've watched all these UK videos, fell in love with our country? Yes, I have. And then my son comes home from school and says, Dad, I'm off to the UK. I know you're happy for him. He'll be well looked after, which I appreciate. Many people have said that, and that just warms my heart. And yes, it's going to be the trip of a lifetime for him. For those who don't know, yes, his school is taking a school trip to the UK. I believe it's Northern Ireland, or not Northern Ireland. I think they're going. I'm not sure if it's Northern Ireland or Ireland. As soon as I got to get the itinerary so I can actually read the itinerary of where they're going to go. But it's basically the UK and Ireland, I believe. It's like 10 days. So they're hitting all the castles and the churches, and don't think they're going to Piccadilly Circus or anything like that. I believe they're not going to Stonehenge. Which a lot of you said it's not really worth doing anyway. But was I mad? I was jealous. I was absolutely jealous, because I was starting to plan, oh, where am I going to go? I was getting excited, and then boom, he tells me he's going, and that we got to pay for it. And so now it's like I'm paying for a trip to the UK, and I'm not even able to go. So yeah, I was jealous. But no, it's I'm very, very happy for him. He's going to be just having the time of his life. It's going to be awesome. And hearing that you all take care of him, you don't know how that makes me happy. It's very cool that you all say that. And yeah, it's gonna be weird having him literally on another continent, away from us. So it could, Mom and I could have some worrisome nights, but we know he's just going to be having a great time, and I'm jealous, totally jealous, not mad, but totally jealous. Thanks, Moon. I appreciate that question. That was good. Next one is from Dina Stanford. Fun fact: this is a Stanford house. My dad and my brother both went to Stanford University. So I grew up rooting for Stanford and all their sports and stuff. So yeah, cool. I love it. Do a video about the town where you live. That is an excellent idea, and look for it soon, because I will be doing a video. I've also started and signed up to do YouTube Shorts, and if you don't know what that is, think TikTok. But with mine, there's not going to be dancing. At least I don't think so. But what I want to do my shorts on is basically just what I do outside of this channel. you know, hopefully get shots of my town where I live, things that maybe on trips that we go on, just little under 60-second clips of just a peek inside my life. You know, very interesting stuff. I couldn't say that with a straight face, sorry. But no, so yeah, I'm going to start doing some shorts that just kind of show outside of what we do here. So look for them. That'll be coming soon. So yeah, I also will be doing a reaction to my town. I don't know how I can react to my own town, but I may do an actual video that I produce, or just there's a few on YouTube about Ventura. So yeah, definitely would be interested in doing that. So thanks, Dina, appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna do one more here. I don't want to keep blabbering on. Probably most of you have clicked off by now, but this last one's going to be from Elsie. Hi, Elsie. How are you? What questions do you have that you haven't been able to find the answers to about the UK? There's two other parts of this that I'll answer here in a second, but I think the main thing, there's a lot of questions I have that are very trivial and stupid that I won't that I won't ask here. But I think one of the main ones is I want to know more about your healthcare. I know there's videos about it, but I wanted to hear it from you. What are your initial thoughts of it, or just your long thoughts of it? How do you feel about your healthcare? Is it as great as I hear? Is it kind of overstating certain things? Our healthcare here in the States is a mess. It really is a mess. It's I mean, the quality of care is second to none, outstanding, but it's paying for that. And it's, some people go into, huge amounts of debt to get health care. And so that's an issue here in the States that we've been dealing with. And the problem is the pharmaceutical companies have just taken over, and it's just not good. And those bastards, if I may say so, making that almighty dollar is like priority one, and it's just wrong. It's just wrong. The fact that they're able to advertise on our television is just ridiculous. Why are they advertising their drugs? It's so dumb. So dumb. I wish that would change. So yeah, I know ours is a mess. You don't have to mention that. But I want to know more about yours, and the negatives and the positives, of course. So that would be probably one of the most thought question that I had. Definitely is that. And maybe if I can ask a trivial one, how are American tourists generally received or perceived, I guess? I probably have an answer to that, and hopefully I can change that when I go. But yeah, that would be fun to hear your guys' answers to that. She has a second part. What has been the most surprising or interesting thing that I have found out so far? And I've mentioned this already. It's the love you have for your own country. Of course, everywhere, everybody has opinions about other countries. We all know that, right? And every country has this stereotype. And of course, you all know yours is they're not patriotic enough. They're not this, that, and the other. All I gotta say is you just watch just a little bit of the Festival of Remembrance, or just go there on November 11th, and you will certainly change your tune if that is how you feel. That has been, I don't want to say surprising, but it has been a very interesting thing that I've noticed that is so not true. And yes, here in the States we fly our flag everywhere, but even when we're not in November, you guys are very proud of your military and of your country and other countrymen and people in your Commonwealth, and it's just been so pleasant to see. It really is. So that is definitely a plus for sure. And then lastly, is there a pillow on my side of the sofa? Elsie, of course there's a pillow on this sofa here. In fact, it's your favorite pillow. And along with that, your favorite cup of tea, if that's your thing, or maybe you like coffee, or maybe you like a cocktail, whatever you want. It's there, waiting for you to come hang out with me. Oh, this was fun. Thank you so much to everybody who asked questions, and there are other questions that were similar to the ones that I've answered that were asked in the emails from people who want to remain anonymous. So hopefully I have answered the bulk of them, and you guys know a little bit more about me. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. But I appreciate each and every one of you, even if you come away from this going, oh, this guy's a tool. I still am happy you're here. I really am, because this is me. This is who I am. Okay, that should do it. This video is probably long enough, I am sure. Thank you to everyone that has partaked in this. This has been fun. This has been fun. I hope you've learned a little bit about me. Hopefully your opinions about me haven't changed. But this is who I am. I'm just Mark from the States, right? Hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. You guys mean the world to me. Take care of one another, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's